It is time for a special edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey, and our special guest is Lori Graves. She is here with the Majestic Theatre here in Chillicothe, the oldest operating theater this side of the Alleghenies.
Yes.
Good to have you here.
It is. I did some research on that, by the way.
Oh, did you?
There is a theater older than us in Philadelphia, but they are not continuously operating.
That's the big difference.
So that's the key word in that sentence right there, continuously. Yes.
We try to make sure we're on spot on that.
We do. Yeah, I like to clarify. Yes, I like to clarify.
We don't want to mislead people in any fashion.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about some of the events coming up at the Majestic Theatre for the coming days. So get ready for that. Details in just a moment. But first, this from Tomlinson Insurance Agency.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Back again with Lori Graves, and we're getting ready for the shows at the Majestic Theatre. I was at the most recent one, Saturday night, with Brass Metropolis, and we had an absolute blast.
Oh, they're great. They're a returning band for us, and they always have a great crowd. They just always put on a good show. I like the horns. I mean, I know it's a Chicago thing, but just something about that horn section makes that show really special.
And those guys were special. I mean, they both came from the trumpeter and the trombonist were from Pittsburgh, and most of the band is from the Youngstown, Warren area. And it was just amazing to see the following they had, first of all, but then once they got there, it's like you were watching Chicago. It was,
and it's kind of like they said, if you didn't get a chance to see them before, come watch the show. So,
I hope they're back next year.
They probably will be.
They will. Very well, maybe. But we've got some shows that are lined up that are tribute-related bands, much like this. And not only bands, but acts. You already had Conway and Loretta.
Yes, we had Twitty and Lynn. And thank you for the gentleman who thought we had the real Conway there. That was... we're good at the Majestic, but we're not quite that good.
It is haunted, and maybe Conway was there in some fashion.
That was a great show, though. Those were the grandchildren of the two of them, and they were just really, really pleasant to work with. They were fun, but because of that show being sold out, that is one of the reasons why the Majestic has been so popular now with bookers, because other people heard they sold out. So we're getting hit with people, hey, can we do a show there? So it's great. I mean, we're getting all of these acts, all these tribute bands that we're getting, and it's a good time to be at the Majestic. We're really crushing it in April. We have 5 shows.
Busy.
Yes.
Certainly. And among them, McGuffey Lane's going to make a return, and I know you'll go in the list for us here in just a moment, but John Schwab and his group, they just do a fantastic job.
Always.
Whenever they perform.
Solid. I mean, they just have that following. They're good entertainers. They've been doing it for decades, and they do it right. And it's just a great show to go to. Yeah.
And they know how to perform before an audience.
They do. They're interactive, and that's what people like.
Yeah. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons will be on the tip of people's brains because that's the next show, right?
That is April 5th on Friday. If you're interested in attending the Frankie Valli tribute, the floor is sold out. And we have 5 rows in the balcony that you could still purchase tickets. There are some spotty seats like in the floor, but for that most part, it's sold out. So if you want to attend that April 5th show at the Majestic, you need to get on today and get your tickets because I think that's going to end up selling out.
Now, we've got scrolling across the top of the screen the acts that are coming up, including the web address for being able to purchase tickets and learn more about the events. And it's really cool that you've got the online ticket purchasing now and scan the card when you come in.
We're just like a theater.
Yeah.
We have the ticketing system. You can get on there. There are different price levels. And you can pick out the exact seat you want to sit in and whatever your price level is. So there's a seat for everyone at these shows.
Yeah. Not too far away, the Piano Men.
The Piano Men. It is a tribute to Billy Joel and Elton John. It is on April 12th, and that is 3/4 of the way sold out.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, we're bringing entertainment, and Chillicothe, Ross County area is responding by supporting these shows. So it's really nice that we can bring entertainment that people want to see. I know my mom is personally going to be at the Frankie Valley and the Piano Men. She's excited about those. Yeah. And I may or may not be making her scan tickets at those shows too. So she's a volunteer by my asking. So
well, I know that when we had some friends from out of town come for this Saturday show, and when I told them what was coming up, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna be kidding me!"
Yeah,
and they're talking about wanting to come back.
Yeah, I've had several people reach out to me and say they've purchased tickets on multiple events in April coming up. And, you know, we're not going to talk about it today, but we've got some more good shows coming up in May and June. Mm-hmm. And there may or may not be a Guns N' Roses tribute band coming in July.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. It could be on the website, but we'll talk about that the next time. So, yeah.
Yeah, there will be multiple visits with Lori Graves, which is always a good thing. And so now towards the end of the month, you've got a show that is sold out on, not completely, but almost sold out on Saturday. So they've added a Friday show. Yes.
Out of Eden is presenting a tribute to the Eagles on April 26th and 27th. The original show was the 27th. There are 12 seats left for that, and they're just like here and there.
Yeah. None were together.
Yeah, I think maybe 2 of them are together, maybe in the balcony. Yeah. But because of that, because they sold out so quickly, they decided to do a second show on Friday. So now we'll be having the Eagles tribute on Friday and Saturday. So if you missed out on the Saturday show, get online at majesticchillicothe.net and get tickets for the Friday show.
How often have we heard there's nothing to do in Chillicothe?
We have heard that for years.
And you and I know better.
We know better, yes. I actually write a whole column about it in the paper to prove everybody wrong. Yeah, so, but yeah, the Majestics, we're just, if you don't have anything to do on a weekend in April, that's your fault, because we have things for you to do.
Yeah, and like you said, because of the sellout that you had, there's been interest by not only the acts, but also the promoters for these acts.
Yes.
And so that makes a difference in helping you to book people in your house.
Yes, it does. Actually, a fun fact, the Twitty and Lynn show came to us via Henry Cho's booker, the comic
really?
we had last fall. You guys, I think, interviewed him.
Yeah.
We got the Twitty and Lynn via Sheila from Henry Cho. So it's just networking. Everything's just kind of coming together for the Majestic.
Yeah. And it's just so cool to see the Majestic Theatre live, not only with local things, because I know you'll have one of the local churches is doing some things this weekend at the Majestic, but outside of that, you've got people from out around the country coming here.
It's cool to know that we are on the map for entertainment at a historic theater, that people have heard about the Majestic Theatre outside of our little umbrella. And that's what's really cool. They're coming from everywhere. So it's just for Chillicothe's benefit.
And this is something that is built over generations, because when you look at Bob Hope having been here, Laurel and Hardy, you go back to those vaudeville days, and this is almost probably like the vaudeville days of today.
I feel like it is, and I just had to go through the history of the theater with a couple people Saturday who were sitting on the floor. It was their first time there. They're not from here. They came for the show, the Brass Metropolis, and the guy said, "Hey, so what's the history of this theater?" And I'm like, we talk about Chillicothe. I'm like, we just go into action and start. I just gave him the spiel, and I said, but if you want more information, please look up our website, for everything. But so it's just kind of fun. It's just fun that the theater is still active. It's still alive since 1853. Not every town can boast that, so we're lucky.
I had a similar conversation while standing in line at the restroom, and the guy who said he was native to Steubenville and had just come in just for this show. He said, "I'd never heard about the theater before." Because I was telling him, I said, "I know we're standing in line now, and he was like 6'6", 6'7". I said, "You should have tried to get into that bathroom before they expanded here a couple of years back."
Yeah, the men's room, it was down those steps.
Yeah, little steps, and then you had to step up, and you had to duck. And
So that's a great too. I mean, just the additions we've been able to do through the capital grant, like the air conditioning last year, and the new lobby and the new bathrooms. The Majestic is always a work in progress because it is an old theater, and we currently are working on collecting funds for a new roof. So that's our next improvement on that. But everything's kind of coming into place as far as getting shows and just keeping the theater active. If you'd like to volunteer for the Majestic, please reach out to me or the theater. We're always looking for volunteers. We're a nonprofit, and we are a working board, so we need people to help us put on these shows.
Right. You've got a nice list of volunteers right now, but you're always open to taking.
Always looking. And that comes in handy if you miss buying a ticket. You could always volunteer.
You can still see the show.
And see the show. So, I'm willing to work with you on that. I will give and take there. So,
Very good.
Yeah.
Can they reach you through the Majestic website?
The Majestic website, you can reach us. There is an email, and that will be, I believe Jean Betts is the one who handles all of that correspondence. You can also reach out to the Majestic Theatre on Facebook. We have a page for that. I field those questions to that inbox, and I will help you there. I will direct you to contact the theater people if it's something I can't help you with. But we're very accessible as far as being able to communicate with us, either email or online.
Just think. If you go through their Facebook page, you're talking to a star. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, I am. Lucky you. Yeah.
Lori, I know that we'll have you in to talk about some other shows later in the summer. And so, in fact, early as next month, probably.
Yes, we have stuff. The Majestic we're not stopping with April. We are moving forward with 2024, and we have a lot of shows in the books that we haven't even told you about yet.
Fantastic. Excited about those. And, of course, you can always go to majesticchillicothe.net to learn more about some of those shows and get a teaser, as it were. Lori, thank you for stopping in.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
Lori Graves from the Majestic Theatre here on a special edition of Litter Media Live, brought to you today by our friends at Tomlinson Insurance Agency.